Okay, fans, up to the ring now. We're ready with action. There you see the World Tag Team Champions, Arn Anderson, Tully, Blanchard. Jim, hey, we got a straight answer out of Flair, no doubt. The world champions in one corner. Garvin now. Freebird Michael Hayes. Champ, this is going to be a Lulu.
Well, what you have right here are the world champions. Two gentlemen that I consider to be one of the greatest teams in the history of this sport. I've been following wrestling my entire life. I've seen the best. I've wrestled the best. I've known the best. And these two gentlemen right here, I'm talking about Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, represent this sport better than any two champions I've ever known.
All right, who's going to start it? It's going to be Arn Anderson now and Freebird Michael Hayes. Those are the two that are going to start.
Hey, Jimmy Garvin!
You know, this is what the National Wrestling Alliance is all about, Bob Caudle. What we have here, Michael Hayes, his reputation in this sport speaks for itself. The Freebirds, one of the great six-man combinations. Jimmy Garvin, a man I've wrestled many times, has proven himself to be a great wrestler. They have formed a tremendous team, and I really expect Garvin and Hayes to give the world champions a great match. The outcome, of course, I predicted world champions to come out on top, but I look for a great competition here. That's what the National Wrestling Alliance is all about.
Well, Jim Ross, Jim, you and I had talked, you know, and Jim, it may just show in this match. Arn and Tully may be a little preoccupied, too. They may be a little preoccupied, Jim, with what has happened with Lex Luger.
Well, I tell you what, it very well could be, Bob, and I tell you, they better not be preoccupied with anything other than Michael Hayes and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. I think Ric Flair will agree that Garvin and Hayes pose a very definite and bona fide threat to the NWA World Heavyweight Tag Team Championship.
Well, they wouldn't be wrestling for the titles. They weren't a bona fide threat. Not to step on your toes, Jim Ross. Everybody that's in this sport that's involved in the National Wrestling Alliance is a bona fide contender for every title. That's what the difference is between us and everybody else. We have the best athletes, the best wrestlers, and the best competition is right here in the NWA.
Hey, Rick, you've said for so long that wrestling, the NWA, professional wrestling itself revolves around and revolved around the Four Horsemen. Is that still the case? Is that still true?
Well, Bob Caudle, the fact that I walked that aisle, kept the title around my waist, now have it there for a fifth time, speaks enough for myself. The fact that Arn and Tully were able to come out of Chicago and defeat the Legion of Doom, the most awesome team in our sport, and keep the world titles, I don't care what the conditions were, speaks and says enough for the world champions. The Four Horsemen are the franchise in this sport. And Lex Luger, and I'm not going to harp on it, was one guy that couldn't cut it. He lived life too clean. He didn't like to run as fast as we do, and that's why he's not with us now.
All right, fans, let's watch the action in the ring. It will continue. We'll be back with more right after this time out. Pretty even. Nobody's been able to get the upper hand.
Well, like I said before, you're looking at four great athletes. I predicted a great match, and I didn't expect Garvin and Hayes to really see any practice in their style right now until the match gets a little farther along. The fact that the world champions have been together so long, and I'm talking about Blanchard and Anderson, speaks for itself. They know where they are at all times. They know they have a tremendous amount of psychology, and they'll pick their spot. And when they pick it, you watch the tide of this match turn.
Well, I'll tell you something. The momentum has swung back and forth here. No one has really established any dominance thus far in this contest. And Hayes and Garvin, a very emotional team here. Hayes backing Blanchard into the ropes, and the right hands are finding a home on the head of Tully Blanchard.
But he missed that elbow. And that was an important move right there that Tully was able to get out from under that, Jim.
Well, like I said, they know their way around this ring, and that's a big key to success in this sport, is knowing where you are in that ring at all times. Being able to make the appropriate move at the appropriate time, and you just saw it. Hayes just took a tremendous shot into that metal ring post. And, brother, if you don't think that hurts, try it sometime.
And the enforcer, there he is, Arn Anderson, right out of the ring, Jim. He's right out there after him.
He's taking advantage of Michael Hayes going into that steel post. Anderson is an opportunistic individual. He's going to take advantage of the situation, working on Hayes' arm outside the ring. It's obviously not legal, but that's exactly what we had, taking advantage. Can't blame him for that.
Well, I tell you, the Anderson...
Heat's on now. The heat's on now.
Yeah.
Like I said, they'll pick their spot. They just picked it. Now Michael Hayes is going to pay some dues for thinking that he belonged in the same bracket, the Red World Tag Team Championship.
Right to that arm. Well, that's a patented move on the part of the Andersons. The Andersons go back a long way with that, Rick. They wrote the book on tag team wrestling, and Arn and Tully, they certainly read it and studied it and read it well.
Tully and Gene wrote the book on tag team wrestling for one reason and one reason only. They wrote the book on how to make an opponent suffer. They wrote the book on how to make an opponent dig as deep as he can just to stay in the match. And before this match is over, Michael Hayes will either have it or he won't have it. And I'm saying he's just like Lex Luger. He won't have it when the bell rings.
Well, they're taking some shortcuts there. Anderson and Blanchard locking hands so that Anderson can get more leverage. They'll bend the reels, take every advantage.
Two of the greatest announcers in this sport, Jim Ross and Bob Caudle. But Jim Ross, that's not a shortcut. That's knowing your way around this profession. There's winners and there's losers. And in this sport, you'll win at any cost.
The tag, Tully got him from behind. Hayes didn't see him coming, Jim Ross.
He certainly didn't, Bob. And now Tully Blanchard. I have a great deal of respect for Tully Blanchard. And he is hammering away at Michael Hayes. And now that adds a great deal. That's very insulting.
That's insult. That's right. He's insulting him now. You're talking about respect. Hey, you got to remember, and I'm sure the fans will, Tully Blanchard held the World Television Championship longer than any other individual.
He's a great athlete.
Blanchard's a tremendous athlete. He was a great college quarterback. He was a tremendous high school athlete, and he's been on top in this sport for over 12 years. When I say on top, I mean he's held title after title.
Now Hayes retaliating. Michael Hayes breaking the rules. He's choking away. Hayes needs to make the tag.
Hayes, who's been in for a long time, needs to get to his corner. And fans, while the action in the ring continues, don't go away. We'll be back. We'll have more of this match right after we take this time out.
Introducing
Michael Hayes. He's been in that ring an awfully long time now.
He certainly has, and he needs to make the tag. And he's trying to mount some offense here. Can Hayes get to the corner? And he makes the tag. Jimmy Garvin's been outside a long time, Ric Flair.
Boy, he comes in and he's a determined young man right now. He knows he's got to stand them both right now. They're coming at him, Arn and Tully. And that's one of the keys to their success. They keep coming at you.
But he's doing very well against them both. He's had one down and then the other. Look in the corner now with Arn.
Well, like I said, Jimmy Garvin's a great wrestler. But mark my words, Arn and Tully will find a spot, and when they do, there it is. No sooner said than done. The ploy, the thought, the psychology, the tremendous tenacity with which these two guys go at it. Jimmy Garvin is now, like Michael Hayes just found out what it's like to feel that hot air crawl through those lungs. Tremendous reverse neck breaker.
Lateral press. Count of 1, 2. He's got the shoulder up, and he's pulling the tights there, quite obviously. Oh, those are vicious elbow drops to gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. And Anderson and Blanchard, I don't think I've ever seen them look any more intense or any more physical than we're seeing here, Bob.
Oh, they're very sharp in every asset.
One of the things that, in my estimation, separates Tully and Arn from a lot of other great tag teams is the fact that, number one, they're both very young, and they both go at it every night 120%. In this sport, before packed arenas on every night, the dollar signs in front of you, the belts are in front of you, your reputation in this very sport's in front of you, and a loss can set you back a year. You must keep those W's in that win column, and that's why, above all else, they go out there every night. Pride, determination, and that win-loss record.
I was going to say, when you was talking about the dollar signs, sure, they're big and they're very, very important, but I think the biggest thing is pride, Rick.
No doubt about it. The dollar signs are a very important part, of course, But what brings those dollar signs around that check each week is the pride you have in the sport.
Jim, that move really turned it around.
Jimmy Garvin, perhaps out of desperation, raised his knees. Double-A Arn Anderson caught him, and Garvin is desperately trying to get to his corner to make the tag. And Tully Blanchard obviously is preventing that as Garvin tasted the steel outside the squared circle.
Down on the floor, it's Tully Blanchard who had Garvin, slammed him into the cage around the ring. To that fencing, now just rams that back right into the side of the ring.
Well, I'll tell you something. Garvin now, who is the legal man in the ring, has got to get back in the ring. He needs to make a tag to Michael Hayes as rapidly as possible. But that's where the expertise, the tag team expertise of Blanchard and Anderson, I think, will come to the front. I don't think they're going to allow the tag.
Hey, champ, they have really dealt out some punishment too. There's no doubt that Hayes and Garvin have really taken a lot of punishment in the match.
Well, they started out fast, and it looked real good for them for a little while in the match. But as I said earlier, the key to success in tag team wrestling is to know your way around the ring, to take advantage of everything that takes place in that ring. Arn and Tully are masters of that, and that's why at the 20-minute mark in this match, they are on top.
Fans will have more of the action of this match. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after we take this time out. So he can get over for a tag, but what a match it's been. Neither team will yield. They've been at it tooth and nail since the opening bell, Jim.
This is all the makings of a tremendously intense rivalry in tag team wrestling in this great sport. And this has been one heck of a battle, and this is not one of those 5-minute matches. I'll tell you something, these guys have fought like gladiators. There's big 4 stallions in there for a long, long time.
The special challenge match, and it's all that we thought it would be, and even more, champ.
Well, like I said, right now it's very important for Arn and Tully to maintain their composure. They've got to keep Garvin from making that tag. Arn just stuck that knee in there.
He was going to back toss it. Boy, Garvin saw that. He turned the tables on him, caught him just in the nick of time.
I think Arn was going for that power slam and misjudged Garvin coming off the rope. He's got to keep Garvin from making that tag. Come on, Tully. All right.
Tully diving into the ring. He just made it, Jim.
He certainly did.
This is what separates the men from the boys, gentlemen. You know Michael Hayes is chomping at that bit. He wants in there bad. They've got to keep Hayes on the apron.
This match won for all our television time remaining, and they have competed hot and heavy for a long, long time here. And now Jimmy Garvin once again back into the corner of Anderson and Blanchard, and he has been there so much of this match.
That's no man's land over there when you get caught in that corner.
That's a fact of life. When you got Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard dealing on you in their home corner, everybody's in trouble.
To elevate Garvin, but Garvin, out of perhaps instinct, with a great offensive weapon.
That is an illegal move.
Why is it illegal? Why is it illegal?
That's an inverted pile driver. That's an illegal move.
An inverted, no.
He's got to get that tag. Come on, Tully.
Michael Hayes has been tagged, and Hayes is rested, and he's full of fire here. Hayes throwing right hands.
He's rested, and you got a groggy Arn Anderson right now. The champs are in trouble.
Boy, they fight. Michael Hayes is with this. There he goes.
Hayes setting double-A for that patented bulldog headlock. They're trying to get him out of the corner.
Arn still had enough presence about him to hook that rope, and that saved him right there.
It did momentarily. Come on. Hayes has still got a lot of life. I'm surprised.
We got all 4 of them in the ring.
And we don't have a great deal of time left in this tremendous hour right before Christmas.
Jim, you're right. And right here, I think, from all of us, we ought to take time to say Merry Christmas to everybody, Jim.
It's not a Merry Christmas right now in the ring. I'll tell you what, this one is really freaking loose.
Hit him with that clothesline.
We're about out of time, fans. Time has about expired. Ric Flair just threw off his earpiece and went charging into the ring. Jim, look at him with that shoe and out.
He just hit Hayes in the head with his shoe. I can't believe it.
I can't either. And
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.